Alrighty, Doc here from North America. Happy to hump day. It is Wednesday, the middle of the week. We're looking forward to getting to the end of the week, as usual. We always like our weekends, try to get more things done than we can. Juggle plates in the air. Indeed, indeed. All right, let's see what's going on. As you can see right off, dollar index parked in that 101 area still. You can see all the red that's been going on with the dollar index right there, but it hasn't gone anywhere. It's just kind of sideways, chopping. We're interest rates and inflation have great effects on the fundamental side of the currency, and so they're not really sure if they're coming or going at this point. But we watch and we see and we've seen, and the math has kept us in the right track as usual. So that's where we are now. Let me go over to the chat line. I haven't gotten even there yet. Let's do the chat line. And then from over there on Chicago Quant, you can see the same situation. We're in the sell. Couldn't get into that buy because of the red dot there. And it's just still hanging around, doing that sideways stuff with that weekly signal right there. Okay, let's get on the chat line and see who's in the house. Who's in the trading pit? This is the cyber trading pit. We try to be explorers in trading. Crazy statements, odd ideas. We'll take them all. That's what trading's all about, As I always like to say, there is no dumb or stupid questions when it comes to trading and money. There is only a short answer or a long answer. That is about it. That's what it really comes down to. There's Robin. Hey, Robin. Hope you're feeling good today. George, good morning to you. And Metho 2000. It always brings me back to my college years. When we used to do, was it the Theater 2000 something, and the three entities sitting in seats talking to each other and making jokes, Super Theater or something. I remember Metho, you told me what it was before, but every time I see Metho 2000, I think of that's how we got our fraternity, the Society for Physics Students. We were financing it through movies on the campus, and this way it helped pay trick was getting accepted by the Physics Society to begin with, but once we got that done, we had our SPS, Society for Physics Students, Sigma Phi Sigma. Okay, so anyway, that's where we are, and that's where we are at. So the dollar index is kind of sitting still, nothing major going on. I've got a bee in my hive. I've been thinking about talking about the Russell and the Tech 100 today. So we're going to try to get into that, how I've been talking about the bricks and the King Peso being the powerhouse inside those bricks. So we're going to march along, and when it comes appropriate, I will start off on that concept about the Russell 2000 and the NASDAQ 100 and the way they've been trading and what's going on with them. That's my teaser, and that is my rift. So let's jump over to the euro now and see what the euro is up to. You can see that's the nope, that's not it. Right there's the euro. The euro is moving towards the highs of the last couple weeks, which is nice to see, because we are a big fan of a weaker dollar. We think the dollar is still way overpriced. It should be in the 96, 97, or 95 area, something like that. Not the 101, not the 105. It's just way too strong. Let's put the euro up on J4X. And there it is right there. You can see it trading at 110.51. Nice and tight market. Good action. You see the green line has started to pierce a little bit here. Kind of curious. R is doing this little bounce here, so I imagine that'll straighten out and start to turn up. Also, it's not at the top end of the range yet, so that is a little surprising. This volume thing is not giving us any insight. I don't see it, but I'm going to watch it for a while and see if it makes any sense. And you can see here the Hinky Ashkies are all green still, so it's not telling us to get short or anything. It's just telling us that it's digesting. And in this case here, you can see it's digesting itself right up to the highs. Yesterday, I bought a little bit of Bitcoin. Yeah, good for you. Yeah, I'll tell you. It's the I think we're going into a buy today on the daily. But yeah, that was very impressive. It was showing, it was acting. I noticed throughout the afternoon in American trading that it was like, up 200 or 300 points when everything else was having issues. So I thought, oh yeah, that thing's going to make a pop today too. Yep, just like a rocket, exactly. And we talked about that yesterday, and we talked about it over the last, when Amir asked about it, about the cryptos, and that is that it's the leader. In other words, if you want to bottom fish, in stock indices and gold and all that stuff, the literally the crypto, I said to him yesterday, is the one to do it in. Matter of fact, when he said that he was doing that combo trade, I said, I bet the crypto is the one that's been outperforming everything, and he said, oh yes, that's what it has been. There's no doubt the crypto is the thing that look, money is moving towards it. Yeah, exactly. Gold was down a little bit, and then it tried to get some legs in it. Not a lot, but it tried to get some legs in it. Yeah, gold. Let's put it this way: when you do a doomsday scenario, like the way the military would, or a three-lettered agency in the United States would do. In other words, the best result and the worst result. The narrative would be is that right now, crypto is the place to be when bottom fit. In other words, when you think markets are going to flatten out and start to move back up again, cryptos are where you should be. In particular, it's Bitcoin and Ethereum. Those two are the biggies with options and futures contracts to trade. So you don't even have to play with the physical crypto itself. And then you can put cryptos in your wallet and walk away. Don't sell them, and hedge them constantly with futures and options, and take profits and so forth and so on, but never move into the realm of having to deal with getting out of your crypto. At the same time, the crypto, when doing that doomsday scenario, when you look at that, obviously, the doomsday side of it is, what's the downside? No electricity anymore. The computerization is gone. That's the downside. That's why you hold the metals. But you would want your metals physical, not necessarily, buried in coffee cans on your farm, not with a good map. But you really don't, in many ways, don't want paper gold or paper silver. You want real stuff, because in the real scenario of it all, if you lose electricity and we lose computerization, then the metals will do you no good unless you have them physically. And so, that's the doomsday scenario. When you really look at it, what's the worst that can happen is a combination of both. You take the physical in both of them, and you put them on, put one on a stick and put the other one in a coffee can buried out in the woods somewhere where no one can find it. And this way you have the resources. And the same thing with 22 caliber shells and things like that. You're going into that doomsday thing. I mean, the worst case scenario. But yeah, without a doubt in trading, because in the end result is that if it's not doomsday, in other words, you don't lose the society and the governmental structure, then you don't have that worry, and so there's no doomsday. So there's no problem. But if you're bracing for the best scenario of how to deal with the worst and the best, that's the answer right there. I don't want to make it sound like a tinfoil on the head thing. It's just a mathematical thing. In other words, if when people say, "Oh well, I'm buying cryptos to compensate for the collapse of the dollar and the financial system and American government," well, if that happens, you better have them in coffee cans, the metals. You better have the 22 caliber shells. And you better hope that you have electricity, because if all those things collapse, you're not going to have electricity either. So in computerization and WWW. So in other words, that's what I'm saying. When you speculate on the best case scenario versus the worst case scenario, that goes into the calculations of it all. So just a just a thought out loud. It's not suggesting that it's happening. It's just a suggestion that when you plan things like D-Day or invasions and so forth, and and military concepts or security concepts, those scenarios get put into play in theory, not in practicality, but in theory, so that they're not surprised. In the sand, see, it was in the sand of the snake box. Yeah, basically. Well, the central banks and the governments are doing lots of twisted things, and they double tax and triple tax, and they float more cash than is necessary, and just all those mechanics. They're wrecking the fundamentals. Janos had made those videos showing how the fundamentals have almost no validity anymore when it comes to news releases. A sip of my tea there. So yes, snake box. I agreed. I like that. That's a goodie. All right. So from there, you can see the euro looking fine over on Chicago Quant right there. You see that, and the weekly's looking fine, and you can see it over here on J4X, still up with lots of green, and the line is just twisting a little bit today. Nothing major. It's just nothing, and it's not all the way to the top to begin with, so it's going to be interesting. It might do that and then shoot right back up through the dash line, stay green, and the next thing you know is that it's moving even higher again. So, all right, and then from there we dance our way over to cable. Oh, I understand they're trying to go after Microsoft and that gaming company. Such an odd thing going on in England at the moment. It's like in many ways, it acts like the Labour Party's running things. And you can see here, cable fell into a daily sell yesterday. Let's put a line in there, and it's playing with a daily buy today with no problem. So it just shows you the amount of confusion that's going on over in England in general. And then they go after the Microsoft situation. So you can see here, it's trying to get into the buy. The weekly looks firm. The green line on the weekly itself doesn't seem to really want to back off. You can see the fast has dipped underneath both the manifold and the nonlinear line themselves, but nonlinear manifold and the histogram. That's what it is, histogram right there. It's dipping underneath it. We'll see if it turns back up again and we get some strength and we go after the highs here, like the way the euro is doing as we speak. Alrighty. From there, we dance our way over to the Swiss. And let's put the Swiss up. Oh, we didn't even put the cable up on J4X. Let's just take a quick look at it on there. Right there. And that has that same issue going on. They dipped down yesterday with a green, so you're not really in a sell yet. Now it's trying to lift up, and it's trying to go into a green again, sloppily, a full green. So it's like, it's kind of interesting to watch it bounce around like that at this point. Now we'll go over to the Swiss. Right there. And there's the Swiss franc, and it's down at the low end of its range. It's been weak here. You see the same thing here. It's been colliding nicely down. If it hadn't been for the slow over here on Chicago Quant doing its little thing of bouncing up, but the fast did not even get remotely, not even over the manifold. That's why when we do write a rule how to follow the two together, that'll be definitely one of them. I've seen that over the years now on my research, and that is when the one of them goes into the buy or sell, and the other one is underneath the manifold right here, the line here, or the manifold here, but not in a not through the zero line, or not in other words, an opposition in plus minus, but using the manifold itself as an indicator, like a zero line. I've noticed that a lot. You can see here when it pushed into the pressure there, this thing jumped up. This thing had no interest in doing so. It was still moving down, and then finally, in a lag, it jumped up. But it didn't jump up at that point. It was in the weekly sell again anyway, so it didn't really matter. So, but that type of thing, that type of action, if it had done that right here, that would have said to me, okay, there's strength coming. But with it buried underneath, I knew there was no strength coming. And that's just like when I tell you that when the this breaks the manifold, even if it's not at the end of the week. Once it's underneath it, the slow underneath it, it's done. It's going to go into the weekly sell. It doesn't recoil back, which is interesting in its own right. All right. That is that for the Swiss franc. Now we'll electric avenue, over to the yen. We'll put it up on J4X. There it is right there. More red there and it moving down. And we'll put it up over here. I thought it was more choppy on Chicago. Yeah. Let's widen that out too, so you can see it better like that. So it's been in the sell now for a few days, just like here over on J4X. It's heading down towards, I guess it's the 36 area, so it's got room to go still. And when you see it here, same situation. Now what's that all about? That should be green. It went into the buy there, didn't it? Yes. There we go. So that's in the weekly buy from last week, and it's still there. And all it did is give us a strong Monday, and then Tuesday and Wednesday it's been pressured down, still in the daily sell. Let's see, there's the daily buy. Where's our lines at? Where do those lines go? There's the buy. And then we went into the sell. Not there. Not there. There. There's the sell right there. And just a little more weakness. Now it's been pressuring it. That held it off because it was a red and a green. This one, it was through the zero line again. And it was a red and green on that one, so it didn't push it into the sell. This thing's been really, the yen is an interesting currency. All I see myself when I say that, I can remember the days trading in the yen pit in Philadelphia with the cash currency, or in Chicago trading, in that back corner. Remember, Robin, in the yen pit, and it has always been it's like the crocodile Dundee of currencies. Every so often, it's strong. It's interesting, and at times it goes on walkabout. It's got that sweet innocence to it, and it's an interesting currency. It always is. And when things were getting really hairy with the bank in Switzerland, it was interesting how it was reflecting it on the yen. They were trading in lockstep, which was very unique. Very unique to watch the yen lockstep with the Swiss, and at the same time, both of them working opposite of the British pound and the euro, which was really strange. To see them, break away two of those. You're talking about, what is it? Let's see. The euro and the British pound is what is it? It's about 65%. Almost 7. It's not 70%, but it's 65%, almost 70 of the dollar index, and then the yen is the second biggest thing in there. So that's like 15% or 18%, something like that, and then the Swiss is 4%. So there's 22% going one direction and like 65% going in the other direction. It was interesting to watch, especially when you understand the physical mechanics of the marketplace itself. Let's see, what do we got? Okay, so where do we go from here? Oh, that's right. We go over to the Turkish lira. See what the Turkish lira is up to. That's the euro Turkish lira pairs trade we look at right there. You can see it's being very firm, not looking back. I don't see anything in this volume thing, but that's all right. We'll just keep on watching it for a few weeks or months or something like that, see if we can find something in it. And then over here, let's put that up over there. There it is right there, the Turkish lira. Still marching up 4 days, going on a fifth day and a buy. The weekly's been in a buy since, was it the beginning of March, is it? Yeah, the middle of March. Basically, the middle of the March. Just 2 weeks in March. So, here we are sliding into getting ready to go into May, and this thing is staying in the buy, and it's at all-time highs, and it doesn't seem like they want to let it go in any fashion. So, in other words, we're not really seeing any healthy growth in the Turkish community. When it comes to the marketplace itself. Giannis was saying to me, I guess he was in Turkey a couple of weeks ago or months, and he was saying that when you go through the markets, the vendors in the in the squares and so forth, not in the buildings, he said that they don't even put a price tag on things now. They negotiate it depending on what it is in the currency and so forth. So that's a tough way to build an or let's say run an economy. It's a the idea is speed and efficiency and value. It's legal value. In other words, they can't take property from you. And if they can't protect your property and they can't give you something to use as a transfer, in a sense, an exchange product, that makes it very tough. All right. Okay, from there we go to the King Peso, as I like to call it now. I had that debate again with my friend this morning. He texted me all kinds of weird stuff that made no sense about BRICS and this and that. But there's the King Peso. It's the king of the BRICS. It's the euro in the BRIC index, as far as I can tell. And, it's looking very firm. It's been gaining against the dollar. When it's going down, it's gaining against the dollar. And the noise here was where a big circle is that's when the Mexican government said they were going to join the BRICS. And so they definitely panicked them. Then they made some statement like, we're looking into joining the BRICS, and it fell right back down into its range. So you can tell what'll happen. It'll go the way of the dollar. The dollar is beat up in many ways, in the oddest ways of all, and that is that our statistics are just outlandish. We have enormous amounts of cash being printed, and it's not being used in the States, which is bad enough as it is because of the inflation. But at the same time, it's outside the country, so it's not contributing to growth. So it's like a double-edged sword of, oh, darn, can I have more inflation, and can I have less growth? Oh, joy, may I have more, please? Obviously not. No. All right. From there, let's see what it is. Okay, let's put King Peso up on the J4X. There it is, right there. King Peso. Look at that. Volume is turning up. So that must mean something. It's ahead of our weekly, that's for sure. So there you go. We got something starting to perk in this thing. We are in a daily buy for a day. So we went into the buy off of this one right there. And so did J4X. Jumped into a buy right there. And today you can see that the volume is increasing. And it's jumped across the zero line. So it's hanging with us. Let's put it that way. This concept of following this product, it is showing some ability there. That's a good thing, and that's important. And there's our buy from yesterday right there. If anybody is confused, just ask me about why it's a buy or something like that, and we'll fill you in. I'd imagine most of you understand the math here, the way we do it, since we've been doing thousands of webinars at this point. All right, so that is there. The King Peso is trying to turn up a little bit. You can see the weekly is doing that. It's making a little turn there. And you can see the same thing here. The fast is right up on the edge of the zero line right there. You can see that. Let's widen that out a little bit more, since it's the King Peso now to pay attention to. For those that want to follow the BRICS, this is going to be the pillar. This will be the euro, like it is in the dollar index. The peso will be the big powerhouse in the BRIC. And there's that. Now let's take a look at it over here on J4X on a weekly versus the daily. Nothing yet. It is higher than the day before. That's good. And it's still red, just like here. And we'll see. Look at it right there. There we are. King peso. All right. From the King peso, we're going to go over to the two currencies that basically follow commodities. So we'll take a look at the Canadian dollar right here. And there is the CAD. And we'll put that on a daily basis, like so. So you can see the strength in that going, or not, it's not the strength, actually it's weakness, because this is dollar CAD. So as it rises, the CAD, it's losing against the dollar. Now what we'll do is we go over here and take a look at the oil market today. And more than likely, because that's rising, the odds are is that the oil market is down. So let's take a peek at that once I find it. There it is right there, front month. And it is down, and went into the sell yesterday. And what else can we say? It looks like that weekly indicator is trying to turn up, though. Interesting. I'm sorry, not weekly, daily indicator is trying to turn up. So the volume is joining with us in that fashion. We'll show you that action. That is the CAD, and let's put it up over here. But you can see oil is trying to roll over, which is what the Canadian is trying to tell us at the same time. And not there. Let me go back to it. It's right here. We'll wave goodbye to the King peso. There it is right there. Yeah, so it's quiet today. We had a nice move yesterday, and we've been in a buy for this is the 7th day. Wow. Okay. So it's been telling us for 7 days that it wants to go, oil wants to go down. You can see we're battling our way through the weekly. Now you can see the slow moving algorithm right there is above the manifold, and the fast one is already above it last week. It went into the buy last week. So it's telling us about all this strength that's there and coming. Now let's go back to, where are we going back to? We're going back to there again, to oil. And you can see for the last 7 days, oil has been finding a way to go down, 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 down. And we'll put it over here now. Oops, dismiss that. And let's put that over here. You'll be able to see oil. Right there, light sweet crude. There it is. Been going down, 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 down. Matching up with Mr. and Mrs. Canadian. Right there. Canadian going up. See, a good example. You know, someone, the fellow who is talking to me about BRICS and loves the BRICS and thinks that China is going to be the powerhouse of the indice, which it's not. It's going to be the Mexican peso, of course. The BRIC and the Chinese yuan will probably be almost nothing. Matter of fact, I got a story for you on that too. We'll go after it after this while we're looking at these things. But the real story is that the where was I at? I think I just had a seniors moment. Let's see, Canadian. Okay, yeah. So that's going on with that. Oh yeah, let me just show you this story. It's well worth showing you. I saw it last night. I thought it was fascinating. It was about Saudi Arabia and trading oil with what do you call it? With China. And here's the story. I'm going to bring it onto the screen here. And it was interesting. It was everything I'd been saying for a while. Now they can't confirm it. They're trying to confirm it, of course, but they can't confirm it yet. But here it is, right there. And oh, they kind of moved the picture out of there. That's too bad. Now they got a flag in there. Before they had the royal prince with Chi, that picture right there. And then maybe further down, I'll put a picture of it. No, they moved it. Okay, and what it did is it basically explained how the Saudis, what they did is, it says right here, rumors are making rounds that Saudi Arabia is selling oil for yuan. Okay, well that's nothing new, I don't think, as far as I can tell. Which it converts into gold on the Shanghai International Gold Exchange. But such a development could make sense as large parts of the world want to de-dollarize, but the renminbi, the Chinese yuan, is not suitable to be used as a reserve currency. China has a closed capital account and a weak rule of law. Not using the dollar could be done by using the renminbi, the Chinese currency, as a trade currency and converting the yuan revenue into gold on the Shanghai exchange. That's what the SGE is, and it's just a rumor, they're saying. And the Saudi Arabia is buying 1 kilogram bars, as there is virtually no trading on the 12.5 kilogram bar on the SGE. So the benefit of a 1 kilogram bar is that they are more fitting for fully allocating trading. Okay, so in essence, what it comes down to, the Chinese domestic gold market, and they're basically, you can trade it in yuan, and then they convert it into, they don't hold yuan, instead they convert it right into gold and move it out of the country. I have a hard time believing, with the way all these central banks are starved for buying physical gold, that the Chinese government is willing to do that every day. I think they just do it as like a sales promotion thing. Oh, see, Saudi Arabia is trading oil now with the renminbi. It's like, okay, yeah, but they just converted it into gold, and they're going to take it out of your country. Oh, that doesn't mean anything. Not only that, I read the rest of the story says that the Shanghai exchange has what do you call it? Exchange certificates at international vaults of gold. So in essence, what they're doing is they're depleting their foreign reserve of gold, not the stuff they have parked in the country itself. But I'll tell you, I wouldn't be surprised if Americans would buy oil with the China and try to play that game, because take gold over to renminbi without a doubt. That's a winner chicken dinner. So just thought that was an interesting story. And then that friend of mine, came up with the bozo idea, like, that the brick is actually going to have some super value. The only value the brick will have is the Mexican peso and the Indian rupee and the South African rand, almost in that order. It's reversed. It's South African rand, then Indian rupee. But at least those three currencies are pretty good currencies to trade, and they're legitimate. So there's no problem. The currency that can't be named would be not bad if it wasn't in the middle of a war right now. So, all right. From there, we go over to the South African rand itself. In the same situation. Let's widen this out. And what this represents is when the rand is losing against the dollar, in other words, rising like that, because this is a dollar rand, not rand dollar pairs trade. So when it's rising, that means that it's losing against the dollar. And then as we go over to gold, let's put it up on J4X. Right there, there's gold, J4X. You see the last 2 days, it's trying to lift and kind of doing the opposite of what we normally would think of that right there. And before all that political noise that occurred in South Africa, we would assume that that you would want to, be long gold at this point, with the action you're seeing the last 2 days. And you can see here, we tried to close up yesterday, but we missed it. Today we are trying again to get into the buy. It's come off of that 80s area, was it? No, I'm sorry. Yeah, 80s area. 82 was the low there. 84 was the low there. And 86 was the low there. They come off of it, and they're at 0910. So they are lifting. And when we go back to the rand, and you see the rand rising here, it's a little odd. And then when we look at it also in on Chicago Quant, it's rising. So there's some real snafu going on. It should be turning down, and this is all part of that trapped political problem they have down there with the president. So ever since the news came out right here, this product should be in the 14s. It's trading in the, what is that, the 18s. So they're giving it a haircut. They're definitely or they're discounting it or doing something. They're doing, in other words, it's not following gold anymore. Whereas before, up until this point right there, It was following gold with no problem. Every day it was perfect. And if you saw strength in the morning on the webinar, you knew you could be buying gold. You know, if you saw the South African rand gaining against the dollar, you knew that it was a good trade to get long the gold. And it usually would win out over a couple hours. It was always good. But ever since that political noise in South Africa, it's made it very hard. But at least it's a currency. It's a real active, legitimate floating currency. So, that makes me feel good. I like currencies that float. Something real, not something fake. Something like that. Let's see. No more messages. Interesting. Everybody hears me, I'm sure. All right, I guess everybody's like, it's Wednesday. We've been busy the last couple of days. I guess we don't need to get too deep into this again. Huh, George? Huh, Metho? Kick those tires, guys. Kick those tires. Make me dance. All right. Let's see what else we got going on. Okay, so that's it. That's the end of the currency adventure. And if anybody wants to see something, we will go back. Oh, can you look at June hogs? Oh, yeah, sure. Let me close this. Little piggies. Wee! Wee! I speak pig. Wee, wee, wee. Wee. Wee, 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 wee. We don't have hogs on the farm anymore, but I used to talk to them all the time. They were really great creatures to talk to and watch. Let's see. Let's go over to, that's the S&P 500 on an intraday. Open workspace, and here it comes. And there is the hogs. They're not trading yet, I don't think. They don't start until another 23 minutes. So, but let's get over there. There's corn. You can see corn perking up nice. Or at least trying, that's for sure. Not perking up at all, really, I guess. Playing with the weekly sell. And in a daily sell for, a bunch of days there. Now let's get the hogs. Whee! Whee! All right, there's hogs right there. There's June hogs. What is that? That's yesterday. So they'll start soon. It's 3 days in a buy. The weekly is trying to climb. So we got some action there. Let's see what the back month is doing. Right there. There is the August contract. Same situation, I think. Yeah, right there. It went into the buy there. And it's trying to lift also. And we'll see. If they try to take out some of these, maybe we'll get this thing into a weekly buy. We've been in a weekly sell on this thing for a long while. Let's go back. Yeah, let's just look at that one and see when it went into it. Yeah. Went into the weekly sell in the 105 area, 103 area. And it traded down into the high 80s. And now we're trying to turn right there. And that's the August contract. Let's take a look at, again, the June contract. Right there, same situation, even worse. That went into a sell in the 107s, 108s in January. Oh my God. This thing's been in the front month now has been in a sell since January. Let me move the zero line up. Right there. There's the zero line. January. OMG. January. Look at that. So, I mean, let's go back to the back month. I want to see what they did with August again. I want to see how they, what were they doing back in January? Okay, that was just a one week adventure. 1 hour tour. Okay, so look at it. It was in the weekly buy, and then it broke down in the middle of January and was in the sell for a while. And then it tried to climb up in here, and you can see the fast and all that. And then back into the sell again. So it's been catching the action pretty well. Let's see. Counting money. Wee! 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 I was at a kids event, a theatrical thing, and it was at a rescue farm where not far from where I grew up. Matter of fact, my mom and the farmer's wife were good friends, and we used to pick if we wanted some fresh vegetables in the evening before dinner. Mom would throw us in the car and we'd go out and just pick the, Mrs. What was it? Crane. Mrs. Crane would, said, just step in the field, take what you want, and we'd go grab fresh asparagus or tomatoes or whatever. So they donated their farm to a rescue mission for animals. Now they're all passed, I guess, gone. The family is, or maybe they have some other farmland that they use, but the main farm itself, and looks like about 25 acres with it. So I was there and I saw pigs, in the rescue thing there, and there were these pigs, and people were going, no, they won't come out of their house. These pigs won't come out of their house. So I started talking to them, because like I used to talk to the ones we had here. I went, wait. That's usually the first thing. If pigs are in their little hutch, you talk to them that way. And then from there, you give them the call. Wee! Wee! And all of a sudden, you hear, wait. And the pigs started coming out of their little house, and people were like, they're coming out! They're coming out! So I still speak pig very well. Anyhow, that's that. So there's the hogs. Is that good? George? A-okay? I do cow real well, too. When you live right next to, 50 or 100 dairy cows, your bedroom window's right next to them, you hear... They don't really talk too much in the sense of talking compared to pigs. Pigs really talk a lot, and they actually talk back and forth to each other, and then they get together or they deal with each other. Cows, not really. They don't. They're like those big brown eyes make you think, oh, they're so aware. And then they step on you, and you're like, oh God. No problem at all. Let's see. How about the roosters? Don't start me on the roosters. I take them out with a golf club once in a while. They get so vicious. I just grab a 3-iron and just swing away and knock them out, and then break out the Black & Decker and take the head off, and we eat them. Because the roosters are really irritating. I like the hens better. The hens are better. They're nicer. Yeah. Do you know why the chicken crossed the road? I've come up with this conclusion totally. This is very easy to figure out. Why did the chicken cross the road? To get to the rooster. That's the answer to that one. All right. All right. From there, we go from farm animals to, let's go over to the metals complex. If anybody wants to see anything else, please ask. I will gladly go back to it. But we're going to go now to, what was left on the screen? Gold. So let's go to the metals complex. All right. And there is gold again. Right there on our screen. And what else have we got going on there? There is the silver. Oh, I want to check the silver again. I'm watching each day now. The open interest is still bigger. Also we switched natural gas into the June contract too. Yep. Little screech usually in the middle of it. All right, let's see what silver is trying to tell us today. We're still doing the May contract. It's 28,000 contracts yesterday with 21,000 open interest. And there's no doubt the July silver had 21,000 contracts and 110,000 open interest. So it's 5 times more. So we're going to start. Matter of fact, we can do this. I've already started. Let me go take a look. Let's look at the July silver contract right there. And you can see there it's been in the daily sell for a couple of days, and then it went into the buy right there. I haven't filled that in. Let's put that in there. And then it jumped right back into the sell again. And the weekly is pressing down. You can see the speed of it right there. So this is the July contract. Matter of fact, that is going all together. So we go like that, remove that, and then the buy was right there. Then did we go into a sell? Then we went into the sell there, and then we went back into the buy, all the way back in there. So we went in that buy in those 22s to get up into the 26s. And then copper was interesting yesterday, the way they smacked that. That was kind of curious. Let's see. Oh, here we go. George says, no, Metho says, sold some silver and changed it into Ethereum. Smart. I like that. Let's see. Silver. Yeah, that makes sense. I knew what you're saying. That's all right. It's cyberspace. So, I mean, you try to type, all of a sudden something changes letters on you. Better CRV, I think. CRV. Convert. Time to, well, you want to see, maybe what we'll do is we'll send out both of them for a couple days. How's that sound? I think that's what we'll do. We'll start sending out both silvers and get a flavor for it. You can see here where it went into the weekly buy there in the low 22s and the fast, and the slow joined in the next week. And you can see it was through the manifold too right here. So felt comfortable with that buy. Once you see something like that and this all the way up in there, that's usually a good sign, you know. Whoa, not that color. There we are. Chance risk. Let's see. Chance risk, is that what that is? What do you mean, silver or switching like Metho? Variations in English relationship. Ah, okay. I wouldn't worry about it. I knew I understood. We're traders. That's why we always had. That's why we have so many strange, dumb, or odd expressions like calls and puts. Put it to you, call it away. Call October Halloween or Rocktober. You call December Christmas. You call on the trading floor. You yell these things out when you're talking about a month in the contract. Labor Day, Memorial Day. Instead of Memorial Day is May, and then Labor Day is September, and things like that. 4th of July instead of saying July. New Year's for January. That type of thing. So there's no problem there. Let's see, risk variation relationships. Yep. Yeah, I think we're going to start sending both silvers out for a little bit, and the moment we see the silver drop, it's amazing, I guess, in many ways that silver. Let's see, I would imagine that the contract. This is the last week in April, so you got to imagine that next week that volume is going to dry up in the silver contract in May, and it'll be the July contract. Chance risk. Yeah, exactly. No, I think that's smart. I trust like I said, unless it's a doomsday experience, these cryptos are going to lead, all these products. There's no doubt about it. When products are rising, it's going to be rising, and it's going to rise better in percentage-wise probably. And when it's falling, it's going to sell down. We've seen crypto go from 3,300? 33,000, I mean. 32,000, something like that. Let's go over there and take a look at it. Now that we're looking at the metal, I always like to look at the metals when we're looking at I like to look at crypto when we're looking at the metals. I have no problem with that. Yeah, we were up as high as 30,000. That's what it was, and there's the spike today with no problem. And I think that doesn't look right. I have to check that. Let me check that. Let's see. Where's the mouse for this? Exactly. You bury it out in the woods where no one can find it. Have a good map. That's all. Have a good map. Indeed, indeed. All right, now, let's see. What was I heading for? Oh, yeah, I wanted to look at... I want to double check the price off the exchange from yesterday with the Bitcoin and see if it actually tried, because that number looks odd with the big gap, and the low is not. I thought the low was underneath yesterday at one point. That's what's got me a little confused here. I'll see it in a second. Here we go. God, it's it's like hit and miss every time I do this. Come on. Sometimes I punch it in at the exchange and no. And it comes right up with no problem. And then there are other times it doesn't. And it's like, what is its malfunction? There it is. Getting it now from the exchange. I want to see what the data was. There we are. And here we go. It's not giving it to me. What is the malfunction here? All right, let me go back and do it one more time. I just want to see, since we're talking about... Oh, there we are. Let's see what that says. All right, let's just click on that. It's giving me the index and not the futures contract. Sometimes it goes right to the futures contract. Sometimes it does the opposite. Come on, give it to me. Here it comes. It's just doing lots of calculations here. All right. I'm just checking the chat line too. Let's see. Chance of risk. I have silver physical. Right. Okay. Never forget a place where I can make money. I agree. Or get money. I hear you. Jameer, how you doing? We're just chasing down some Bitcoin as we're speaking. As that's what I'm dealing with at the moment, and we're running out of time too. But that's all right. I want to see. Here's the index. I want to double check yesterday's prices because it looks a little fishy to me. So there it is, and then go like so. There we go. Here we go. All right, I got the prices now. Here it comes. All right, so yes, something's wrong with yesterday's data. We'll have to clean that up. It might have gone into a buy yesterday too, so it's hard to say at this point. It's loading now as we speak, but that number does not look right whatsoever. Let's see, right there, right there. There we are. Yeah, that looks wrong. The way see how it's way up high here? It should be down here. So I'm going to I'll take it apart. Yeah, you know what? I think it went into a buy yesterday. So we'll have to double check that. But let's put it this way: it was very close to going into a buy. It's there now. So, alrighty. Where else do we go here, traders? Let's do this. We're running out of time. Let's do this. Let's take a look at copper. There's copper. You can see that it's trying to bounce up a little bit after yesterday's smack, and it's been in a sell for 7 days now. The weekly is trying to get into the sell, as you see there. What else can we say about that? Let's see platinum. Platinum is reaching back up again, which is making me feel more comfortable for the metals traders. There's platinum. It's not into the buy, but at least it's turning up in green. So that's a good thing. You know, I need to see that thing climb. It was one heck of a drop, over $60. Then, it sounds like it's almost like someone was trying to push it out the door or something like that. And then let's take a look at crude again. We'll go to the September contract in crude, still showing that weakness for the last 10 days, and just that little pop there, and then back down again, and it's in the weekly sell. Then we slide over to natural gas, which is now the September contract. Is it September? Or is it July? I think it's June contract. There it is. June contract. It's trying to get into the sell. That thing went into the buy back in there. That was interesting. I've cleaned this all up. So it's been in a buy for like 10 days. Good reason to start paying attention to the back months a little bit faster than we did before, you know. Let's see. Jameer says, and also think if starting new bubble on it. Which one's that? The platinum? Yeah. Well, I think platinum is undervalued. You know, it should be around the gold price. I thought. At least that's historical. Ever since quantitative easing, it seems to be totally the opposite. It wipes it out. You can see here today, you know, Nat Gas is trying to get back into the sell too at the same time. So let's put a little line in there as we speak, like so. All right, and then let's go over to, we'll go on J4X. Let's just save that too at the same time. Natural gas, there we go. And then we'll go to J4X. Let's take a look at that Spanish company and see what they're reflecting. Let's do this. There's Brent. So you see Brent still sliding down also at the same time. And then let's go over to the Spanish company, the energy company in Spain, and see what they're doing. Is that it? Right there. That's it. Let's see if it's under 28. Nah, it's just down at the bottom end of the range of 28. Oh, Bitcoin. Bubble. I don't know if it's a bubble. It's an alternative asset class at this point. Let me read what you said again, and also think if starting a new bubble. Or you mean like a run on the upside? I don't know about a new one. It's where is it on our math? It's in a week. Is it still in a weekly buy, or did it finally go into the weekly sell? I think it's in the weekly sell. Right there. Yeah, we went into the weekly sell. We're going to close in the weekly buy again. I don't know if I'd call it a bubble as much as it's just it seems to lead the market anymore. It's been doing that for like the last 6 months. It leads the market. It let it down. It's let it up. It outperforms the indices. It outperforms the gold. You know, it seems to be deflationary. It seems to be the electronic deflation. It's really the real paper gold in the end result. That's what it seems to be. It's the real paper gold. You know, because imagine if you couldn't exercise your gold because it's not physical, it's in paper, and everything falls apart. Then you lost it just as fast as you lost your thumb drive with your wallet. So it doesn't really matter. So, all right, traders, we're out of here. 2 minutes to the U.S. Open. So this is Doc from North America. On Bitcoin and Ethereum, right, exactly. We will catch you all tomorrow, and thank you for the questions. I appreciate that. We can look into it a little bit deeper tomorrow. So, I didn't even do that topic I wanted to do today. I wanted to look at Russell 2000 and the NQs, the Tech 100. We'll try that tomorrow. So this is Doc from North America saying, happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends. And later, traders. Be safe, be smart. We will catch you on Thursday, the day before Friday. Ta-ta for